All right, let's get right into it. Today, we're breaking down a really clear 5-step blueprint. This isn't just about making more money. It's about escaping the middle class for good and achieving real financial freedom.
You know, there's this quote, "The problem is, comfort makes you settle." And it's so true, isn't it? The middle class feels comfortable. It feels safe. But that comfort, that's the trap. It's the real problem, because it makes you settle for good enough, and you never get to find out what you're actually capable of.
And this is where you see this huge gap between the promise and the reality of it all. The promise, right? It's that stable job, a nice car, maybe a house with a little yard. But the reality for so many people, it's a whole different story. It's the invisible ceilings, it's living paycheck to paycheck, and feeling like you're stuck on a hamster wheel with no way off.
So, here's the plan. First, we're going to really dig into this comfort trap. Then, we'll walk through the 5 steps you need to build your way out. And trust me, we're going all the way to the ultimate prize at the end.
Okay, so the first thing we have to get our heads around is what the middle class actually is. See, it's not a destination you arrive at. It's more like a system. And it's a system designed to keep you just productive enough to keep the whole thing running, but never quite free enough to just walk away.
And that's why the real danger here isn't poverty. Poverty is loud, right? It's urgent. No, the real danger is something much quieter. It's complacency. It's this feeling of security that's just comfortable enough. It's not painful enough to make you do something drastic, so you just stop questioning what else might be out there for you.
And that leads us right into step 1. Look, before we talk about any strategies or tactics, there's a decision you have to make. This is the moment you get brutally honest with yourself. You have to look in the mirror and say, okay, this is where I am, but I know I'm capable of more, and I am not going to let that potential just fizzle out. Seriously, making that one decision, it changes everything.
But let's be real, that decision isn't free. It comes with a price tag. If you really want to change your life, you have to make a trade. You're going to have to sacrifice your comfort now for growth later. You have to sacrifice your free time to build something. And you have to trade that flimsy sense of security for a real shot at something bigger, real opportunity, real freedom.
Okay, so once you've made that commitment, it flows right into step 2. Think of it like this. You're in a trap and you need tools to get out. While the best tools, the most powerful ones you can have, are high-income skills. These are the things that let you create massive value and crucially finally break that link between how many hours you work and how much money you make.
We're not talking about just any skills here. We're talking about rare, in-demand, scalable skills that solve really expensive problems for people. Once you master one of these, you're not waiting for your boss to give you a 3% raise anymore. You're creating your own opportunities. Let's look at 3 perfect examples.
First up, copywriting. Now, this isn't just being a good writer. This is the skill of writing words that get people to take action, to buy things. It solves one of the biggest problems every single business has. How do we get more customers? Next, let's talk about coding. This is literally the skill of building the digital world we all live in. You're not just making a pretty website, you're building real digital tools, platforms, assets that businesses absolutely need to function, let alone grow.
And number 3, sales. Simple as that. Sales is the engine. It's the lifeblood of any company. If you know how to close deals and bring actual revenue in the door, you're not just valuable, you're essential. You will always have a place.
All right, so you've got the mindset from step 1. You've been building a valuable skill in step 2. Now we get to the fun part, steps 3 and 4. It's time to put those skills to work. This is where you launch your very first profit machine and start scaling it into a real, legitimate business.
And look, entrepreneurship sounds complicated, but at its core, it's really, really simple. 1, find a problem. 2, use your skill to solve it. 3, get paid for the value you created. That's it. The goal at this stage isn't to build some billion-dollar company overnight. It's just to start getting cash in the door. But even more important is the mental shift. You stop being an employee who waits for permission, and you become a builder who creates their own way.
Now, what you do with those first profits, this is a huge fork in the road. The typical middle-class instinct is to see that extra cash and immediately think, great, I can get a nicer car. It's spending on liabilities. The wealthy mindset is the complete opposite. They take those profits and they pour them right back into the business. Why? To make their machine bigger, faster, and way more powerful.
And a huge part of reinvesting correctly is avoiding what I call the freelance trap. This is so important. If you're your own boss, but you're also your only employee, you haven't built a business. You've just built yourself a new, more demanding job. To actually scale, you have to invest in systems and, yes, other people. That's what frees you up to work on the business, not just in it.
Which brings us to the final and maybe the most important step of all. Step 5. See, making a lot of money is not the same thing as building wealth. This step is all about designing a true system for your freedom, something that can take a hit and keep going, something that can support you forever. And the difference between this and the freelance trap we just talked about, it's night and day. In the freelance trap, you're walking a tightrope. You're trading your time for money. If you stop walking, the money stops. A real wealth system, though, that's a fortress. It's built on assets that make money for you whether you show up to work or not. It's the ultimate safety net, and you're the one who builds it.
So how does this system actually work? Well, it's pretty simple, but incredibly powerful. Your business, that's your engine. It pumps out profits. You take those profits and you invest them into assets, things like stocks or real estate. Then, and this is the key, you live off the money your assets make, not the money your business makes. This creates a critical firewall separating your personal lifestyle from the day-to-day of your business. So, after you've gone through all these steps, you finally get to the real point of this whole thing. Because honestly, it was never just about piling up a bunch of money. Being truly rich, truly wealthy, means you own your time. You own your choices. You own your freedom.
So let me ask you, after all that work, climbing out of the comfort trap, building a skill, launching a machine, creating this whole system, what is it that you've really earned?
It's this one word: freedom. The freedom to actually live your life on your own terms. The freedom to work on things you care about with people you actually like and respect. The freedom to make choices where money isn't the #1 factor. That is the real return on investment. And in the end, that's what this journey is really about. Yeah, the money's great, for sure, but it's just a byproduct. The real prize is the person you have to become to get there. More disciplined, more resilient, way more capable than you thought you were. You haven't just built a pile of assets, you've completely rebuilt yourself.